Hey, ladies. Hey, gentlemen. This is your girl, Miss Athena. Yes, I'm back, and you are tuned into the Why Are You Still Single podcast. Yeah, the question is, why are you still single? We're going to get into a hot topic on today with a very, very special guest. Her name is Tamara Johnson. Uh, welcome, Tamara. Welcome to
Hello.
the Why Are You Still Single podcast. Hey, Tam.
Hey, thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Thank you for coming on. It's very much a pleasure to have you. I met this young lady, brilliant mind about relationships at a business brunch. She was sitting behind me, and God would have it that she was being shy in the back, and then the host called her up to the front and introduced who she was, and I was like, "Wow, what a wonderful gift to people that need help with relationships." So today we're going to talk about just candid about me. About I'm on a journey right now, and I haven't really exposed what journey I am. I've just come off of a year of not come off, still in celibacy. Let me say that, and doing the work to be single. And so I want to ask you, Tam, with your knowledge of being in different relationships and coming through it, let's switch roles. I want to be in the say like what you call it, the counselor's chair, right? And you counsel me. Today is actually the first day that I am accepting dating, meaning being active on dating sites and kind of doing the data part. What information can you give me? Because let me tell you my background. I'm a divorcee twice. Okay. A broken heart about 4 times. I had to recover from that. Been in abuse, had to go get counseling for that. And then also had to, for myself, pray to God and get some clarity about what my soul was doing in all these situations with being sexually immoral and things of that nature and shut it down. And how do the fear was is like, God, if you shut it down, am I gonna still be sexy? Am I still gonna want it? Because I like it, right? And so with
Yeah.
that dynamic and coming out of it now, I understand that sexy part don't leave. The desire don't leave. It's just the mentality of why I put that first and didn't do the work to actually be or stay in a relationship. So for me personally, say I met a guy right now, what would be my first step?
When meeting a guy, so where are you meeting him at? I would ask you that first. Are you meeting him
Oh,
online? Are you meeting him in person, right? And
okay.
so I'm going to back up a little bit, right?
Okay.
I know you said you've done the work, and I'll share this. As a healthy marriage and relationship advocate, I'm advocating for the individual that I am speaking to. So
Yeah.
I need to have dialogue with you to understand where you're at in your process of healing, or if you feel that you've completely healed, right? I personally believe that, healing is an ongoing journey, right? But
Hmm.
there's a phase where we get to where we are, we can be available to begin dating. But the thing is, do you know that for sure? So I'd ask you a number of questions, so you believe you're ready, and tell me, what does that look like in action? What does ready look like for Athena? Because ready, for Tam, looks completely different from other individuals, right? It really depends on what your end goal is. So if your end goal is to be married, right? Are you being a wife and not necessarily his wife, right? Are you doing the work that is going to take for you to be a strong, a happy, healthy, and healed individual, so that you can enhance the person who you are connecting with? So I'd start there, before anywhere. I'd give you a mirror, and I'd say,
Okay.
look in the mirror. We're going to do the work on ourselves. Like, I call it the
Right.
mirror ministry.
Okay.
We're going to look in the mirror, and we're going to see if Athena is really ready for a relationship, or is Athena just tired of not being in a relationship. That's two different things.
Okay. So no, I'm not tired of being in a relationship because my first relationship is with God, and it is, and it has been so fulfilling. physically, mentally, spiritually, socially, and all that. So that
Yeah.
part of me, I had to come to grips with without putting other people into it. Am I
Yeah.
ready socially? That's where the dynamic, I need a little bit more help because I hadn't put myself out there with the communication and not going too far or letting them the boundaries and things like that. So I'm still working with that part. My end goal is marriage, okay? And yes, I am a wife, not maybe his wife, because even through my two divorces, I continue to be a wife. I still did the things that was necessary as me as being a woman. Some women would put layers on it, like it's cooking and cleaning and going to do the laundry and things like that stuff. That's just part of being a woman if no man is in the house. But for a man to be in the house, his physical spirit, I have to connect with. And I've done that with my sons being in a space of them needing peace, respect, quiet, and also understanding and a listening ear. And that rhythm is when that person is in the house. So far as being a wife, I've always been in wife mode without another body
Right.
with me because it's been a practice from being married. So
Yeah.
my fear is socially having a conversation with a man that I'm attracted to by my eyes and allow my ears to be more attractive than my eyes so I don't fall prey to going backwards, if you know what I mean. So my
Yeah.
fear is the listening part, to be able to communicate effectively with the person on a friendship level, even though I'm attracted to them, and not rush through the process.
That's good. That's good. And I'm glad that you said, you talked about actually listening, right? And because you've shared and you're sharing that you are a believer and you speak to God and you get his opinion and you've done the work with him, I can go here with you. So I tell you this, God is going to teach you by who he is how to effectively listen and how to effectively speak, right, to the individual that he's connecting you with or that you are connecting with, because let's be clear, it's not always that that's a God sent person, but God will allow certain things to occur. He will give us, he will give us the desires of our heart, whether it's something that he has put in place for us or not. So I'd say understanding that God is the first example of how to communicate, and you sharing with him that what you're saying to me right now, that's a piece where you're a little challenged at. He's going to show you how to do that as long as you stay available, right? I say have the conversation with God every single day. It's like meeting someone, and I've heard this before. It's like meeting someone for the first time, right? And they give you their phone number and they give you a phone call from that number that you have not programmed in your phone. And the first thing you're going to say, because you don't know his voice, you're going to say, I'm sorry, who am I speaking to? He'll tell you. He call you next week from a different number. You're going to say the same thing. It's not until you're speaking to him, multiple times, time after time, where you will know his voice regardless to what phone number he call you from. You're going to know his voice. God wants us to do that with him. Talk to him every single day, and he's going to teach you how to be socially comfortable with a male, with a man, because you intentionally removed yourself from that some time ago. Now he wants to help you ease into that thing, right? And that
Mhm.
is by first having the conversation with him. He's going to show you how to do it. He's never going to
And you
put
know
us
what?
out there to set us up.
And to your point, Tam, I totally agree because if I could think of an experience when I was raising my children and I had so many people in my ear about, girl, you
Mm-hmm.
shouldn't let him do that. You need to whoop
Mm-hmm.
his butt. You need to do this. And the Holy Spirit did say, I said, you know what, God, look, I am not managed in this area. I have no knowledge of being a parent. I've seen what everybody has done. And daily, I said, God, this child is up. What are we going to do with him? And to your
Yeah.
point, he did teach me. And I did ask God, I said, God, on this, I want to be a blank page. I don't know what to do. I think I
That's
know what
good.
to do. And it lasted for so long. But for you and for your glory, I want to be able to do it different. So I have agreed. And that's what I have planned to do. Now,
Yeah.
the listening part, I am perfecting through just having male friends. and listening to their
Mhm.
conversations of how we talk as friends, not even thinking about getting together, but they have their own friend, or I'm talking to my friends because most of the people around me are married. So that already lets me know that I have the counsel I need around me. Um, I'm not
Yeah.
frantic to be one on one with the man or anything like that. I can have the conversation, but the intention I'm listening for, the intention of while we're having this conversation, I just have to pull back and listen and not allow my emotions of being psychful of handsomeness or smelling good and all that stuff overtake me
Yeah.
because I know me, right? And
Right.
so
Keep it real.
uh, that with that, let me tell you, if you're just now tuning in, you have just tuned into Why Are You Still Single podcast. I ask you to share, like, and subscribe because this information will help you. And I'm putting myself out there. I have my guest here, Ms. Tam Johnson. She is an author. She can give the information from experience and as being an author and a woman of God. She has written 3 different books, and I'll let her speak about that. Producer, do you have the books?
Yeah,
One book
you know
is
what? And thank you
The
so much.
Marriage.
There's go ahead.
Okay.
Sorry.
The title of her books are The Marriage Policies and Procedures, Life After the D. I know you want to know what the D is, right? And Life After Divorce. I'll let her give some words on those books.
Yeah. I love it. I love the pause and the life after the D. So my first book, the Marriage Policies and Procedures. Well, first of all, I'll say all 3 books can be found on Amazon, or you can go to my website, tamarajohnson.net. But the Marriage Policies and Procedures is 12 policies that I personally created, designed, that I believe are important. Now, there are multiple policies, procedures, things that you can do in your marriage. It's all about you creating it for you. And at the end of each chapter, for a husband and a wife, or even if it's just someone that is desiring to be married, that book is going to be very beneficial in creating what it looks like, in walking this thing out called marriage. Life After the D. Life After the D is a book that I wrote, but it's also what it is multiple um, journal entries that I wrote to God when I was going through my divorce. I was married for 14 years and in that relationship for 20. And so it was a very hard time for me. And so what the only thing I knew to do at the time, out of embarrassment, I didn't want to go and talk to anyone. I went straight to God. So I would journal a lot. And what I did eventually is go back after I heard his response to that and I wrote down what he said. So some time after that, I thought it'd be very important for women to read what my journal entry was and God's response to it because I was bitter, I was angry, I was upset, I was mad, I was embarrassed, all of those things, and God had to check me, right? And so I want us, those that are divorced, to understand that it's normal to have those emotions and feelings, right? And so, but at the same time, we got to understand there's another side to that. And so God came with the other side. That's what that book is. The third one, Life After Divorce, is actually an anthology. So there's a movement that I have going called Rise Girl Rise. I brought along 12 other women along with me that wrote a piece of their story, but we are really trying to focus on the healing and being whole portion of it. So we talk a little bit about something that happened in the marriage that was the demise. It's not to bash the man at all, but it's to give God the glory, right? Because we did the work. And so that too gives you a person that is divorced an opportunity to say, okay, if she went through it and she came out, she's healed, so can I, right? And so that's what this is all about.
Thank you so much. Like she said, her books are on Amazon, and we're just doing a little nugget of transparency. I often do these little "Why are you still single?" skits here, or whatever, asking people information about why are they single. Then I have to say, you know what, Lord, I'm on this podcast for a reason. Why am I still single? And so I understand that intentionally, there are seasons, and I'm so grateful to have our guest. Last question I want to ask you for me is
Yeah.
in the process, and let me say this too. There may be people on here that do not believe in God, and I understand that's your preference. We're not bashing you or saying that the information does not work if you don't believe in God. But I do want to say that all counsel and all reflection, whether you believe in God or not, is real for your own person. But God does help you make it a little bit more smoother, okay? So, Tim, for myself, so I'm actually going out on my first date
Ooh,
tomorrow. And I may, yes, and I consciously, because I know who I am, made the date where we would be at a park setting, so that we can just explore nature and do some walking and talking. So that it would be like it's not a what you call it, an interview. It's like somebody you
yeah,
met in the park and walking. So I made that part when I talked to him. I said, I just want to walk in the park and talk because at the same time I could be getting exercise and benefiting from just being able to listen. And then he said, and after the park, we'll just be spontaneous and I'll leave. When he said that, it let me know that at some point, because I've been by myself and God's been leading me, I have to get some growth in pulling back and letting the man lead. My question to
mhm,
you is, what nuggets can you get for women that have been by themselves and have led households with children, have led households when a man has been down? How do they get back under submission? Sub meaning low, mission mean going forward together. Let's get some, terminology here, and be in the right place to allow the man to lead and trust.
I love it. I love that. That is such a great question because it is very hard for women who have been put in position to have to lead. It's what we are accustomed to, and we have already been given the gift of leadership, right? Hence, God said He put in His word that we are to submit. If He didn't think we have challenges with that, it wouldn't be something that He tell us to do. And so, because of that, he shared with us that we need to submit. I would share that in knowing the order. So, if you are aware of order, right, you have to intentionally tell self. It's back to the mirror, back to that mirror ministry.
Yeah.
Tell yourself, look at yourself, and say, give yourself two options. If I do, this is what the possibilities are. And if I do not, this is what the possibilities are,
Mm,
right? Choose your possibilities and then your walk will line up behind it, right? But you must be intentional about it because second nature says, I move forward. I do this. I take I take, not even take over. You're just always have been in place to lead. So intentional, doing things on purpose, like effectively listening, right? Effectively stepping back, understanding that he has a role, understanding his role. And sometimes, even when we don't agree with what it is that he is saying, right, we still have to allow. Let me say this really fast. There is a rhyme. Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water. Jack fell down and broke his crown, and Jill came tumbling after. She came tumbling after. She followed him, right? And
right.
I believe in that story. There's much more to that. If you go and get
Yes,
the
it
book,
is.
you'll read the rest of it. She didn't break her crown, right? She because of her obedience. So I want you to
Mm-hmm.
think of obedience when you think about following and allowing him to lead. God is going to protect you because of your obedience to him, not because you followed this man to the wrong place. But God is
Mm-hmm.
he's going to bless you as a result. And here's the thing. Um, as you follow, as you are being obedient and God is protecting you, even if you are feeling some of the blunt of what he's going through or what he decided for you all, God is still going to protect you in that because of obedience. So I'm going to tell you to really focus on your obedience to what God says order is and what leadership is and how to submit, right? And he'll share with you, God will share with you if this is someone that you need to be following or not. But in the interim of dating, you are dating to get to know. Be easy, right? He already know that you're a Christian woman. He already know that you are a believer. You don't have to share those things. You don't have to preface your conversation with any of that. Just have fun, sis. have fun,
Yes,
and let
yes,
your
yes,
practical way of walking say that I am a God believer. Let what you how
yes,
you live, let that be your life. But what you
yes,
say, just have fun. Have fun.
yes. Great advice. You've heard it here on Why Are You Still Single podcast. I want to say to you ladies that are being challenged with new beginnings, today is August 1st. Today represents new
Woo.
beginnings. Even if you have not submitted to your own spirit and your own journey with, like I've done with celibacy, and that is an issue for you, I speak to you and say that the days, the months, and the weeks will go by so fast that you will be whole and healed. Because remember,
Yeah.
when you're exchanging body fluids with each other, you're collecting other people. And until you can really get rid of all those spirits and souls, you cannot ever be one so that you can be one with another person. That challenge, it needs to be faced so that you can give your best to a
Yeah.
king that deserves a queen. You have it right here on Why Are You Still Single podcast. Thank you, Tam, so much for coming on. We
Thank you for
are
having me.
out. Peace.
Bye.